Let's not make this official, Outlander. Move along.
I would if you would get out of the way. Who just drew and sheathed the sword?
What can it do for you?
Let's see. I don't think I've read this yet. But before I do anything else, I'm going to have to take a pause and get myself a collection of instances of a single oxygen and 2 hydrogen molecules. The 36 Lessons of Vivek, Sermon 5. Finally, the simulacrum of the Nechaman's wife became unstable. The Dwemer in their haste had built it shoddily, and the ashes of Red Mountain slowed its golden tendons. Before long it fell on its knees beside the road to the lands of the Indoril and pitched over, to be discovered 80 days later by a merchant caravan on its way to the capital of Veloth and on Alexia. Vivek had not been among his people all the days of his pre-life, so he stayed silent and let the chimer in the caravan think that the simulacrum was broken and empty. A Chimeri warrior who was protecting the caravan said, "Look here, how the Dwemer tried to fool us as ever, crafting our likenesses out of their flesh metals. We should take this to the capital and show our mother Ayam. She will want to see this new strategy of our enemies." But the merchant captain said, "I doubt that we shall be paid well for the effort. We can make more money if we stop at Normok." Oh, you can't control the pages with the keyboard. "And sell it to the Red Wives of Dagon, who pay well for the wonders made by the Deep Folk." But another Chimer, who was wise in the ways of prophecy, looked on the simulacrum with disquietude. "Was I not hired to help you seek the best of fortunes? I say you should listen to your warrior then, and take this thing to Ayam, for though manufactured by our enemies, there is something in it that will become sacred, or has been already." The merchant captain took pause then, and looked on the simulacrum of the Nechaman's wife, and though he heeded always the advice of his seers, could do no more than think of the profits to be made at Normok. He thought mainly that of the Red Wife's form of recompense, which was four-cornered and good wounded, a belly magic known nowhere else under the moons. What? His lust made him deny I am his mother. He gave orders to change course for Nuremberg. Before the caravan could get underway again, the Chimeri warrior who had counseled a passage to the capital threw his money to the merchant captain and said, "I will pay you thus for the simulacrum and warn you. The war is coming with the shaggy men of the north, and I will not have my mother I am at uneven odds with one enemy, while tending to another." "Nerevar," the merchant captain said, "this is not enough. I am triune in my own way, but I follow the road of my body and demand more." Then Vivek could not remain silent anymore and said into Nerevar's head these words, "You can hear the words, so run away. Come, Hortator. Unfold into a clear unknown. Stay quiet until you've slept in the yesterday, and say no elegies for the melting stone." So Nerevar slew the merchant captain and took the caravan for his own. The ending of the words is Almsivi. Well, that seems very sacred. Kill the merchant and take all his things. Yeah, that's... religion. Okay. Well, these other two, a trap? When did I get this? Oh, it's a book. Trapped by Anonymous. Uh-oh. Could be dangerous. I saw the gold and I took it. A different man might not have. I know that, and from time to time, I think back on the hour when I saw the gold and took it. You see, I was hungry. Isn't it ironic? I don't remember much else about that night but the gold and the hunger. I don't remember the name of the tavern or even the village, but I believe it was somewhere in southern Vardenfell. I can't really be certain. For some time I sat dumbly in my chair, my mind occupied with nothing but the pain in my stomach. If you've never been truly hungry from days of no food, you can't know what it's like. You can't concentrate on anything. It wasn't until a figure to my left got me up from the table and to get a drink and left a stack of gold marks behind that I snapped to awareness. From this moment on, my memory is crystalline. My eyes to the gold. My eyes to the stranger's back, walking calmly toward the barmaid. My hand to the gold in my pocket. I'm up from the table and out the door. For just a moment I look back. The stranger has turned to look my way. He wears a hood, but I can feel his eyes meet mine. I swear I can scent a smile. Out into the street and behind some barrels I crouch down, waiting for my pursuer. One benefit of a lifetime running from guards. I knew how to disappear. For nearly an hour, I waited there, suffering even more from hunger. You see, I was awake now, and I had the means to buy myself a feast. This knowledge tortured me, and when I finally got to my feet, I very nearly fainted. I had only enough energy to walk to the other edge of the tavern, to a rundown tavern before... the other edge of the village, to a rundown tavern before collapsing at a table. I think I must have fallen unconscious for a moment before I heard the barmaid's voice. "Can I get you something to eat, Sarah?" I gorged myself on roasts and pies and huge frothing mugs of grief. As the fog of near-fatal starvation began to lift, I looked up from my plate to see a gold-masked stranger looking at me, his visage glowing by the blinding light of the moon through the window. He wore black leather armor and was a different physique and size from the man I had burgled, but I could tell he knew. I paid for my meal quickly and left. I skirted the edge of the village, through a tiled central courtyard surrounded by the squalid peasants' cottages. There was not a light shining from any window or door. No one was on the streets. I could find no place to hide, so I took the road out of town, heading for the wilderness. Hunger had pushed me on in the days before, but now I felt what I imagined to be the whip of guilt. Or perhaps, even then, it was fear. I fell twice, rushing down the dark path, unused to the slopes and pebbled texture. The sounds of animal life, which I had numbed to, were suddenly very loud in my ears, and there was something else out there in the night, something chasing me. On the side of the road, there was a low wall, and I scrambled over it and hid. I knew enough about concealment to pick a spot where the bulwark sunk slightly, so even if someone saw the outline of my figure, he would assume it to be part of the wall. It wasn't long before I heard the sound of running footsteps from more than one person pass me by, and then stop. It was a moment of conversation, or whispered conversation, and one of the people ran back on the path toward the village. Then, silence. After a few more minutes, I peered out from the wall. A female figure in a dun gown, wimple, and veil stood in the road. On the other end of the road, blocking the way back to the town, was a knight, coated in dark mail. I could see neither of their faces. For a moment I froze, unsure whether either or both had seen me. "Run," said the woman in a dead voice. The hill behind me was too steep, so I leapt over the wall and across the road in 2 bounds. Into the night forest I ran, the maddening jingle of the accursed gold in my pocket. I knew I was making so much noise my pursuer could not help but hear me, but now I cared more for putting distance between us than in stealth. Clouds of ash filtered through the moonlight, but I still knew it was too bright to hide. I ran and ran until I felt my blood pumping in my head and heart, begging for me to stop. I was at the edge of the world, on the other side of a shallow stream from a vast, crumbling house encircled by a rail fence. Behind me, running footfall in the broken, dusty earth. To the south, downstream, a distinct sudden splashing of someone moving nearer. There was no choice. I jumped in, or half jumped and half fell into the mud, and dragged myself up the bank on the other side. I rolled under the fence and ran through the open field toward the house. Jerking my head around, I saw 7 shadowy figures by the fence post. The cloaked man I had robbed, the man in the gold mask, the veiled woman, the dark knight, 3 others too who had pursued me, but had never seen, and I thought I was the stealthy one. The moon was entirely hidden in a swarm of ash. Only the stars offered their meager illumination as I reached the open door of the ruin. I slammed and bolted the door behind me, but I knew there could be no protection for very long. As I looked about the ravaged interior of broken furniture, I searched for someone to hide. Shouldn't that be somewhere? A corner, a niche where if I stayed very still, no one would see me. A splintered table lying against the wall looked perfect for my purposes. I crawled under it and jumped when something moved and I heard a frightening old man's voice. "Who's there?" "It's all right," I whispered. "I'm not one of them." His puckered, gnarled hand reached out from the shadow and gripped my arm. Instantly, I felt sleep fall upon me, resist as I might. The old man's horrible face, the face of the hungry dead, emerged as the moon came out and shone through the broken window. His talons still gripping me, I fell back, smelling his death surround me. The table was thrown back. There stood the 7 hunters and a dozen more. No, hunters they weren't. They were harriers who had chased me out of every hiding place, expertly pushing me to the lair of the real predator. He was weak with age, the old man was. Not as good at the chase as he once was. A blunt killing machine. "Please," I said. It was all I could muster. Having enjoyed the sport I had offered, he granted me mercy of sorts. I was not bled dry. I was not cursed by being one of them. The burn. I was kept with others, most of us mad with fear, to be aged and tasted at the vampire's whim. We are called cattle. I lost all hope months ago of ever leaving the dank cellar where they keep us. Even if this note finds its way to the outside world, I cannot give enough information about my whereabouts to be rescued, even if some champion were able to defeat the bloodsuckers. I only write this to keep my own sanity and to warn others. There is something worse than being hungry, being food. I must have picked that up in that one place. Cave or dungeon of some sort with all the vampires in it. Jobasha can hopefully give me some decent money for these books. Stop walking around so I can sell. There we go. Maybe I should have asked for more money than that. Homilies of Blessed Almalexia. No, don't care about that. Well, maybe I could look. See if he has the other copies, or the other books in the A Dance in Fire series, which that seems to be the case. So, let's see, I've got 2 and 4, so I need 1 and 3. Ah, there's a 5, 6, and 7. I should try to sell these for a little, or buy these for a little cheaper. 150, 300, 450, 600, 750. Let's try 725. A discount for a good customer. I don't think I'll be reading them right now, but I should keep them around. Let's just see what these notes say. Well, all this is pretty much what I just read from what he said. Now this one is a little different from what he said. In ancient days, the Deep Elves and a great host of outlanders from the west came to steal the land of the Dunmer. In that time, Nerevar was the great Khan and war leader of the House People, but he honored the ancient spirits in the tribal law and became as one of us. So when the Nerevar pledged upon his great ring of the ancestors, one clan under Moon and Star, to honor the ways of the spirits and rights of the land, all the tribes joined the House People to fight a great battle at the Red Mountain. Died at the Red Mountain. Though many Dunmer, tribesmen and housemen, died at the Red Mountain, the Dwemer were defeated and their evil magics destroyed, and the Outlanders driven from the land. But after this great victory, the power-hungry Khans of the great houses slew Nerevar in secret, and, setting themselves up as gods, neglected Nerevar's promises to the tribes. But it is said that Nerevar will come again with his ring, and cast down the false gods, and by the power of his ring will make good his promises to the tribes, to honor the spirits and drive the outsiders from the land. Okay, here's something new. The most recent is known as Peakstar, a mysterious figure who has reportedly appeared and disappeared among the Waste tribes for over the last 30 years. The temple notes that these false incarnates discredit the Nerevarine prophecies. Okay, that's repetition. Okay. Oh. Well, these are all very long books, so I think I'm just going to, right now, open them up and reap the rewards of leveling up skills. Okay, get out of the way. I'm pretty sure that's one I just read. Eight out of 10 to the next level. Nice. Mercantile, what's that at again? 21. Now the hard part. What must I do to be able to move again? What must I drop? No compatibility. That didn't do as much as I would hope. And all of these are things I bought, so I don't want to just drop them. You know, this isn't actually very useful, so I'll drop that. I'm starting to get the feeling that these don't actually have any effect. So next time I go to a clothier, I'll sell them. Didn't I pick something up that had something to do with feather effect? Nothing here. Okay, I know there were boots that did that, and I dropped them. Ah, heart-wise. Okay, so that restores buffs personality a bit. Maybe I'll pick that back up. And my throwing knives. Got a slightly better idea. I'll just teleport myself here. And safely drop this stuff down here where everybody's dead. There we go. Perfect. So let's find a clothier. Maybe I can go to the apothecary or the alchemist and possibly get rid of one of these. Or no, not one of these. The only spare alchemy tool that I have that I don't need.
Yes, sir.
Just in case it's stolen from her. She doesn't have enough money. Damn. Well, let's see what kind of ingredients she has, at least. Telekinesis. Well, restore health. Let's take that. Because this has a hidden restore health, if I remember right, which I should. Ah, restore magicka. I'll use that with the Danger Heart. Restore personality and feather. Restore health. Definitely useful. Let's go for 130. Oh, I should tell you this. Balon makes the leaflets. Galur of Balon? That fetcher! I can't believe she'd do this to me. I'm reporting this to the magistrate. This is ridiculous. Thank you for your help. Here's your payment as I promised. So essentially, I just bought all these ingredients for 30 gold. No. Stupid thing. There we go. Finally made a potion. Let's take both of these. And that's another one. So this has that hidden effect. Yep. And it failed. Okay, Dangerous Heart and Frost Salt. And it failed. Well, down to the alchemist then.
My time is precious, so make it quick.
Are you still poor? Yes, you are. Drain fatigue, but restore magicka. Let's just take 2 of these then. Because that's all the Dangerous Heart I have. I shan't be buying those. Those are worth too much money. Okay, let's try to get these for free. Fine, I'll give you 1 gold. Ah, stingy, stingy, stingy.